Hello friends and neighbors. This is what happens when it gets into the afternoon and an idea pops into your head. Now, I had previously cut this oak and was going to turn it into slabs for knife making. But I kind of gave up on that idea because I was spending too much time on leather work. I didn't really have the time nor the finances to get a forge and start making knives. But what I wanted to do, and I talked about it before, was making my own mallet. And I have a wood mallet, and it's lasted me for years, but it's coming apart. And I have this piece of oak, and it's solid. This is a solid piece of wood, and I think it'll do well for a new mallet. However, I do have to shape this, and I could do it with my hatchet, but it's going to take forever. So I'm going to try and finish this piece, get a flat edge, and then put it on the table saw to make a square piece for my handle. And then I'll finish that down by hand so that I'll have a round handle. And because this piece is long enough, I should also be able to make the mallet head out of this piece. If not, I have some other oak here that I cut up. So if that'll focus, I can make the mallet head out of that. So plenty of wood here to do that with. I'll figure something out. But let's get started. So a couple swipes with the saw, and you can see that now I have a flat edge to work with. I don't know the moisture content on this, but I could set it near the fire and heat it up to get the moisture out of it. What I really want to do is try and square it up using this flat edge. I'll put it on the table saw and bring it down to a manageable width, and then I'll have all four sides square, and then from there I can work it easily into a circle. I don't have a lathe. I know it would be easier on the lathe. I don't have it, but first what I'm going to do is debark it with my hatchet. So I don't want this bark flying all around on the table saw, getting into my eyes and stuff. So let me do that next. And here you can see most of the bark is gone. Looking at this again, I see because I squared that side already, I'm probably only going to get the shaft out of this, and then I'll have to cut another piece for the head of the mallet. But this should work out really well. Next we'll throw it on the table saw and see if we can't get it squared up. Well, it's another not sunny day here in San Antonio. But what I've decided to do is go ahead and square this up and make the handle. I started this about 5 days ago, but it's been raining and cold, so I haven't done anything with it. So I'm getting ready to square this up and make my handle for my new mallet. And here you see the mark. That's how long the handle's going to be, about 10.5 inches. And then I'll cut this down to about a 1-inch square and then round it from there. So stay tuned. This isn't very exciting. I'm sure you've seen people sawing wood before, so I'll show you when it's done. So woodworking is not my forte, and I'm sure there's better ways to do this. Some of y'all probably could have knocked this out in 2 minutes, but here I've got my mallet handle marked out, and I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of the squaring on this. And I'm looking to get a 1-inch square. It looks like I can actually get 2 of these, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to trim this long part off right here, and then I'm going to cut this in half. So stay tuned to see if I have all my fingers left when I'm done. Okay, I'll call that a success. I got 2 of these that look like they'll be good candidates for handle for my new mallet once I sand off the sides. And so that turned out great. I'm really happy with that. And now I can go cut my mallet head, hopefully before it rains, because there's clouds all over the place. Yeah, that doesn't look good, but hopefully I'll get my work done, because I got to cut a bunch of belts too and dog collars, so hopefully I'll get that done before it starts pouring out here. I'm gonna say just a hair. Alright, we're turning down this handle to 3/4 from 1 inch, and it looks pretty good. It's still a little bit too big. We're going to take some more off of it, and hopefully we can get 2 of these handles and crank out 2 of these mallets. So daylight left hours ago, and as you can see, we were able to turn down the handle on these mallets to 3/4. Unfortunately, the other piece that I was going to cut for the third mallet didn't work out, so I still have this mallet head that I won't be able to use until I find another piece of oak, which you'll probably see a different video about this oak or similar wood that I got off the side of the road. And this stuff is great. This is hard wood. I mean, this is really dense. You can feel it. I mean, look at that grain. So this is you know, great wood. And like I said, you'll see the video of us turning it down. My kids had never operated a lathe, so I got them in on the fun. Luckily, our neighbor has a full woodworking setup in his garage, and he let me turn these down. Actually, he let my kids turn these down. You can see it's not perfect, but that's okay. It gave them a chance to learn a new skill, to have some fun with it, you know, get a taste of it, and that's good. And then he had them bore out a 3/4 hole on the mallet face. So there's one mallet face, and here's the other mallet face. And I don't know if I should harden these. I mean, I guess I could bake them, but again, I'm not so sure I want to spend the time doing that. My plan is to epoxy these together. Oh, let me try and get, yeah. So epoxy these together and then use a brass type screw to enlarge the shaft so that it fits even tighter and is harder to come out with that mallet head on. I know I should use a wedge probably, but I'm afraid that I'll split this and then won't have anything. I won't have any mallets. So stay tuned. I'm getting ready to drill this, and you can come along and see me drill out this hole on the other mallet head. So luckily, this hole in the plate is 3/4 inch, so it fits that mallet shaft just fine. And then I'll come down and drill out that hole even more, so I can put the expanding screw in there. Hopefully that'll work. If not, and it cracks, because I think this one has a crack in it. It may crack, it may work, who knows? But we're going to give it a try. I'm going to attempt not to lose any bodily parts, just like when I was doing the saw. And you can see it's not quite lined up with that hole from the lathe, so it jumped in there, jumped in that hole, and hopefully it'll expand that. See a little smoke. Hopefully nothing catches on fire. I gotta grab this other. I gotta grab the other part to spin it. Because we're going deep. think that'll bottom out soon. Yeah, there it is. It bottomed out, so there we go. Awesome. Now we have the hole for the expanding screw, and I'll set these up with some, I'm not sure if I'm going to use epoxy or that wood glue. That wood glue is pretty stout. I mean, it held those other pieces together, so I know a lot of people use epoxy. This tight bond wood glue, I don't know, it might work. I'll try it out and we'll see. All right, there we go with that. Okay, so here we are the next day after I glued these up, and this one looks like it turned out pretty good, so I'm happy with that. It may be off just a little bit from having it aligned, the head and the shaft aligned, but let me show you what happened to the other one. While I was clamping it somehow, I moved it. So this shaft is like at a 30-degree angle. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I'm not sure if I can get this apart because I've showed that glue before. That glue really holds things together, and I'm not sure I'll be able to get this apart, re-glue it, and realign it. So I might have to do something else. I can still use the mallet, but it's not how I wanted it to turn out. Now what I'll do is I'll do the final sanding. I'll get both of these sanded up, stained, and that'll be that. I'll have wooden mallets, and I'll show you the progress of how they do, how my new wooden mallets do. So that's it for this series on making your own wooden mallets. I hope you enjoyed that. If you need some custom leather work done, y'all know how to get hold of me. It's in the description. Have a blessed weekend.